is up. The recording is on. The game is ready.
And I am ready to go.
Let's begin. Change up some music here so that we have some proper sounds. Cool. And desert works fine. All right. So where we last left the Unkind, we had, at the behest of Arcanist Talora and Paladin Azrakan, headed into the Temple of the Elements to try and, unfortunately, destroy or at least get rid of the worm eggs that would be on the flowers that we had procured for the Chimera. Due to the fact of if the worms get out in here, we're unfortunately going to have another biohazard style plague on our hands. We held hands and teleported in, and as we did, ended up in the element of fire and began maneuvering our way through, first fighting against a fire giant who was praying to an obsidian sword that turned out to be making a image of a genie launching elemental blade weapons at us. That gave us some harrowing issues. And then upon wandering down a straight hallway, eventually tipped off and into another plane of the element, where we ran into some flaming salamanders who were kicking a turtle duck into a lava puddle for Funyun rings. We bypassed and moved on till we found a mountain that looked like a staircase. And feeling some kind of magnetic pull, Zephyr climbed the mountain to the unfortunate chagrin of everybody. Zephyr not coming down and strikes of lightning starting to peek out into the sky. Both Karrith and Nyphix followed suit to see if they can get him down. And while Nyphix got to Zephyr, Karrith found himself in the plane of void. Once more meeting with Sarvoth, who met him upon the beach and said that it was time to learn some new skills, some new lessons, new tasks that we would have at our hands. Karrith at first was more on the bring me to Nyphix, she's probably in trouble, I need to get there. At Sarvoth, they kind of acquiesced and said, I know where your mind is. Let me at least lay something to rest, and then you will have to make a decision. You can help her, but then you will not gain anything from this encounter. Or you can work towards bettering yourself, your strength emboldening the team. However, in doing this, you will have to leave her to her own devices to fight her own fight. Upon bringing Karrith to where Nyphix was, Nyphix had gotten ported by some rather large white and yellow giant creature, massive and huge, standing at roughly 80 feet tall. It was looking at her, asking and demanding of her, what will you do? Will you fight alongside Zephyr, the warrior, or will you try to heal him and help him move on? Are you the fighter who you were born and raised to be, or the healer that you so pretend? Choose. And with that, as she was sitting, attempting to heal Zephyr, holding onto his back and healing his wounds, she could feel his presence underneath her hands, knowing full well that if she let him go, any aid that she is providing him will end. And the creature had brought her to the plane of lightning, and Malik had popped up next to her, taunting her, asking her if she wanted to tussle. And the deity called out once more, demanding to know, who are you? Meanwhile, with Razzik, as he had gone up as well, he found himself in a plane of gravity, encountering a rather large deity who was offering him power, untold cosmic power. Since Razzik was already using the book that he made, And as this was spoken, the book gained a mouth and harassed back at him that, no, you did not make this book, I did. You can't just claim what I've done, Father. Just because you helped build me doesn't mean you get to take what I've done. She then looked at Razzik and said, you can barter with this creature, with this being, and you can get your untold cosmic power at great cost to yourself, at a great cost to your soul. Or I can help you gain that power. A fraction of it, at least. What you would be looking for and what you would need. And you get to keep your soul. I understand the power may be tempting, but understand this. If you take his power, if you take his offer, there will be no corner of Eridun that you can run to that I will not find you. And when I do, I will kill you. At which point in time, Razzik had chimed back at Bagnasoth, this eldritch being, and said, well, she's offering to give me the power without sacrificing my soul or people. What can you offer me? And Bagnasoth, annoyed by this, used his amazing powers of gravity to hurl Razzik at the ground at a speed that would have surely killed him if he would have been on that trajectory, and then stopped him. And followed up by going,
I offered you untold cosmic power, and you dare bargain. Choose.
And he shut the book. I don't know how that came out on everybody's mic, but
Clear for me.
Perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect
Meanwhile.
indeed, sir.
Meanwhile, Eelix, ever the cool, calm, and collected one, was being told that if he wanted answers, if he wanted strength, he needed to find an obelisk flanked by 2 snakes. And upon solving that puzzle, he would be able to meet someone who would be able to help him out in his road to strength and power. Eelix, realizing that all of his other friends are gone and he's kind of at the well, just me now, fuck it, went off to go find this obelisk and did. And upon him and Arby solving the riddle of the snakes, they ported to the Shadow Plane, where they ran into a man with withered skin, sullen and sagged to his body, who seemed to taunt Eelix endlessly, trying to elicit some sort of a reaction from him. And Eelix would not give way. And in this bar that was filled with shadowed entities, and a deck that spoke tarot and illusions into reality. Eelix took a look at the creature and basically said, not here to play your game, whatever it is, and walked out the door as the creature taunted back. That's fine. At the end of the day, you'll have to answer, for I am your traitor. And Eelix basically was like, yeah, fuck you too, pal, and walked out the door. That said,
I gave him the finger as well.
That said, we shall pick this back up at Nyphix, Malik, Karrith, and Sarboth. Let's get some more intense music in here. That feels good. And with that said, Karrith, you sit there, Sarboth floating alongside you. You won't free to interact here. Just keep in mind, you must walk forward or walk back. Whatever you choose will be the route we take. And you see... Oh, go ahead.
I was about to ask, do I only see Nyphix or Malik as well?
You see all of it. This large, almost football-headed being with ray-like yellow patterns and blue iconography on its body. It is pure, almost ivory white, like sheet of paper white. And you see Nyphix, both hands pressed on something, magic power emanating from her hands, and Malik, both swords out, going, "Hello, love. It's been a while. You looking to tussle?" Nyphix, as you look and see Malik, what do? The creature's words echoing once more in your head. Who are you? Good choice. I feel like that's something I can get solidly behind.
Right. Nyphix's grip is gonna kind of get a little bit tighter and holding on to Crimson just a little bit, seeing Malik there kind of taunting her. And her inner rage is gonna kind of start swelling just with everything that's been going on, knowing that he's been walking free to do what he wants in the city that they just left after she had been captured and put in the jail cells below in the previous city. Kind of all those little bits of flashbacks are kind of run through her mind quickly. And she's just gonna kind of give a quick whisper of a no to Malik. Just no.
Oh, see, there it is again. He taught you well, didn't he? And he comes up to you, steps right next to you, and with the flat of his blade, taps the bottom of your chin to pick your head up. Always a shield. You and him were so alike. You gotta defend everybody, don't you? What's that like, by the way? Happens on the fight for? Never losing your purpose. Always having a means in the battlefield.
She's gonna just slightly tilt her head and kind of give him the side eye. You of all people would probably ask that, wouldn't you, Malik? You don't know the meaning of actually trusting and being in a group with someone and actually being honest.
Honesty? No, I gave honesty. I told you all that day. I can't live in a world of peace. I can't live in that world that you and Vickers wanted so well. No, beasts like us. And he slowly drags his blade across your face. You feel the blood start to trickle down your feathers. We exist in combat. You did too, once upon a time. You should know all too well. Yesterday's friend can be tomorrow's enemy. Think of it. What do? You feel the fire burning underneath your hands, getting heavier and harder as Malik begins to pace around you. Like a hungry wolf. And Karrith, how are you handling it?
Am I able to hear the conversation, or am I more just watching the mannerisms?
You can hear the conversation.
Oh, boy. I think very similar. He's feeling a lot of pace in under his heels. Like knowing that if there was just no gate between, if there was nothing between them, he probably would dart for it.
So you think Karrith would lunge in?
It's more of like dancing on your feet a little bit, of wondering, because right now the mannerism he's seeing Nyphix go through, she's being calm and collected. It's as if he knows she's planning. So it's like, do I mess that up by darting in, or do I just wait for her move?
All right.
He did say that when he got her back up to her feet.
And you'll feel as Malik walks behind you, drags the blade against the back of your legs. This time not to cut, more to just intimidate. What is the guy you're holding on to really mean? Nyphix? You're just a stranger. It's not a raven.
Nyphix is gonna laugh. Just she's gonna chuckle as he says, "A raven." Well, that's awfully funny, Malik, because neither am I? I mean, they don't exist anymore, right? I mean, according to, well, everybody. According to you. Everything that you've done.
So you live your life based on the viewpoint of others. Is that what you're telling me? What would your boy Karrith think? Huh?
No, that's not what I said, Malik. You think that I just have to do for what? A fellow raven? No. I've never done for just a fellow raven. If I see someone on the streets that needs my help, they'll get my help. But you, Malik? No. I'll tell you who I am. And she'll turn her head to the being beside her. You want to know what I am and who I am? I'm the life force of the Ravens, and forever will continue. But you, Malik, and she's going to turn her head over, you were the death of the Ravens. And when the time comes, I will take that life from you. But now's not that time. But it'll come.
So poetic. I guess there is still one more I gotta kill in there. And he begins to raise his swords above his head. Sarboth looks at you, Karrith, and goes, choose. Do you trust her?
Karrith goes through his mind in a way of just remembering how she told him to get up. Remembering every time we did something that managed to get us exactly where we needed to be. He has a small resentment in his mind when he said to her in the alleyway, maybe this is something you took from me. And he looks at Sarboth and says, she has this. She can take it.
Well said. And with that, Karrith, you no longer see the view on this field as you wander back along the way with Sarboth, and you are back in your own arena. And with that, Nyphix, the blades come up crossways, and as they're coming towards your head, right at your neck, do you do anything? Do you let go?
No.
All right. Okay. All right. Wrong damage dice. This is our boy we're talking about. It's another hit. Another hit, and last one. Another hit, and I need one crit confirm. That's a fail. Cool. All right. Blades careen at your head. You feel them bite into the sides of your neck and shatter as they go off in each direction. And this vision of Malik begins to burn from the handles of his now broken swords back to the center of his core. And he is gone. You take no damage. Physically, mentally, you'll probably take some trauma damage, but and you'll see the being as it narrows its eyes at you and goes, "A fine choice." It shrinks down to your size and begins wandering towards you. And as it gets closer and closer to you, you watch as this being begins to sprout feathers and plumage. It takes on your armor and your wings. And as it walks closer, it smiles at you and nods. "Silence, whore!" and says, "I'm glad we know who we are." Before it steps into you and you feel lightning course through your body.
Giggity.
And with that, you will gain, thanks to the elemental plane that you are in, some power over lightning. Cutting back to our boy Razzik, who is dealing with Bognasoth in the book. This insanely towering deity filled with immense power to rend worlds apart sits in front of you, demanding your choice. What do you do?
Demanding my choice. I'm taking it to the dice roll. That's where I'm at. That's how indecisive I feel.
All right.
Let's do a D100. High we go with the book. Low the demon. Clearly.
I will alert you, because I do know that you were on pain meds last time around and weren't all here. If you want to retcon some rolls to be like, hey, do you mind if we just quickly bounce back and roll here or there, I'm cool with that.
Appreciate that, thank you. I was having a bad time last time. The thing is like I have like a +1 to sense motive, which is literally just my wisdom.
I mean, a dice roll still a dice roll. That's a...
Alright, I'm gonna give a sense motive to both entities. So the first one is for the book, So 12.
All right. And what exactly are you trying to sense from the book?
I guess the truth about the power that they can give me. Is it really worth turning down this opportunity? Yeah.
It's hard to suss out a good answer here. You can feel the power radiating off of this creature. It is immense. It fills you with waves as it's going past, like unfortunately being tumbled endlessly in the ocean.
Okay.
But whoever wrote that book, whoever made that book, was comfortable enough that they were able to invade this world to make that offer.
Mhm.
And not only that, but this book has made you strong in the past.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Now, with relativity not being causality, but an absence of evidence isn't necessarily the evidence of absence in this case.
I don't like that statement in reality, but in here I think it plays. Okay. So let's do the same thing, but for the intentions of the demon. Who can 19? Is this someone who's only willing to give something that with one hand they're going to take with the other and leave me broken and empty?
Razzik,
And I also don't, and also how true is what the book said, now that I think about it, that I will lose control of myself.
Razzik, as you witness this creature, you are very well book read. You know of creatures like this.
Of course.
They are often a monkey's paw. You will get what he's offering, untold cosmic power. Something great will be taken from you in the process.
Well,
Maybe not now, maybe not even in the near future. But something will be taken from you. Also above table, that thing that's taken from you will not be. You get to play boy as long as you want. I have plenty of other ways to hurt you.
every DM does. They got a pocket full of doom.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about it for a second. The book has helped me without me asking. The demon has, if they were paying attention to me, had to hear me ask and then not help me. So, I choose the book.
And as you speak this aloud to Bognasoth, you'll watch as these billowing blackened flames start coming off of his body as he looks and goes,
Then you die.
and he reaches out his hand and you feel your arms and legs beginning to pull in separate directions. You feel your skin flensing and tearing, and as it does, the book opens once more while he's distracted and lunges towards you, and in a second, snaps you up. And as it does, Eelix, a book that you are very familiar with Razzik holding, pops up on the ground next to you. Just out of thin air and then lands on the ground.
I'm gonna look at it and think up to Arby like, hey, that's his book, huh?
Yeah, that looks like his book, alright.
Is it open or closed?
It's closed.
Is there anything like a stick or anything nearby?
You can kick at it, but as for sticks, yeah, I would say you find some old cindered tinder.
Yeah, I'll just grab a piece of old cinder tinder and kind of like pop the lid of the book open.
Give it the old poke test.
Give
And
the
as
old
you-
poke test.
As you flip the book open, you'll watch as the pages start scurrying in a hurry, and then you'll watch as Razzik is pulled out of this book in what looks like an extremely painful squash and stretch of an animated cartoon, and then poof, he's out in one piece. You feel yourself pop from the book like gum being pulled freshly off of a wall, and you onto the ground. Your book's still open.
Huh, that happened. I'm gonna poke him with the stick too.
Hello, buddy. So that was entertaining.
Uh-huh, you were just inside a book.
Well, some books are inside all of us. I picked my book up.
And as you pick your book up, you'll see scrawled writing on your book. And it simply says, "I'll find you. No worries."
Okay.
Nova. And then it has a little dash and the name Nova.
Ooh, okay. Add this to my sheet.
All right. With that, I'm going to fast track some things because our boy isn't here. And we will move to Karrith v. Sarvoth. And with that, Karrith, you will see as a creature begins to apparate in front of you. A large elemental being. Shrouded in flames, and then lightning begins to caress around this coming tsunami and storm. As it peers at you, you will see a skull float through and stare at you as its eyes burst into green flame, eking backwards, fangs protruding on both the bottom and the top of its mouth. This is a spirit of rage. Something that you feel too often inside of yourself. This isn't any moral test, but more learning something through overcoming. Do you know the best quality of the void?
That it can leave you empty.
It can. It swallows nearly everything. But all that does need to go somewhere, doesn't it?
Swallow.
And with that, the creature will rear up and you'll watch two mantis-like tendrils extend from its arm and it slashes down these two rays of fire. What do you do as you see them careening at you?
I think... at first I would probably try to leap back. Going off of just basic instinct.
All right. Roll me a dexterity saving throw.
Will do. If I can...
Reflex, but
Yeah, reflex saving throw. Thank you.
you're welcome.
Yeah.
By the way, here you go. The memory of rage.
Shit. Hold on. There we go.
What'd you get?
Trying to find my reflex. There it is. +3, so it's only a 10, unfortunately.
All right. Wanted to see what that did, but it didn't do anything. I thought it was a history of like, oh, what was the last die rolled? I didn't think if I clicked on it, it would just roll again.
Oh.
But all right. You dodge backwards, and both blades slam into the ground, a crater where you were standing. For reference, that crater, if it would have hit you, yeah, it would have. Hold on a second, because I have the ability here to getting it. 25d8 damage per hit. So, you know, keep it up.
Dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge. Did I mention dodge?
Serpentine.
You see the crater of flame appear in the ground in front of you. And you see Sarvoth standing there basically unplussed as the creature moans and winds up for another swing. Rage is not something you can run from.
Rage only leaves you tired. It exhausts you.
You can continue to run from it, but you will only die tired. What do you wait for it to make another move, or do you want to make the move?
I'm waiting for its next move.
With that, another blast comes down as it careens 2 more lines of flame at you. Another Raging Inferno attack. 25d6 if you do not save or do something. What would you like to do?
I'm going to use my last reaction to teleport to a chosen location.
Okay.
And you said the skull is floating inside this, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Could I teleport in a form of velocity to take that skull out of that situation?
You could very well try.
Then that's what I'm going to do.
All right. So with that, you wait for the flames to hit you. You teleport and slam into this creature with all of your might. And as you're trying to pull this large skull out of its body, it unfortunately rebuffs you, and you slam upon the ground. As you do, you feel your head kind of looking back at where you were just standing. And you see where you teleported away from, if only for a minute, is engulfed in fire. Unlike the hole that's in front of you, it seems like your void sucked in the flame and controlled it for a moment. And then it disappears, being echoed into the darkness.
Huh.
Standing that close is a surefire way to die. I do hope you have an idea. And you'll watch as the creature takes a deep breath in, leans over top of you, and begins to exhale. What would you like to do?
I think at this point now I will try to attack.
All right. What are you attacking?
I think I'm going to try to go for the head again.
All right. And are you diving through the fire to get that attack? I put the cone on you where it's going to be.
Yeah, I think I would be trying to get back into the center of that storm, if you will.
All right. Let's see if you weather it. That is 83 damage sound.
Sounds like you just died.
Hmm.
Does that sound like death?
It does sound like death, especially since I only had 12 HP.
Oh yeah, even reflex saving throw, you're not going to get very far with that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You You dive into the flame and attempt to try and subdue this skull once more. You feel the flame burst against your body and begin singeing all of the hair off of you. You'll hear Sarvoth one more time go, diving straight. Oh, yes, the best way to assert dominance against a tornado is to run straight at it with your shirt off, banging your chest.
It was a little more poetic in my head.
Perhaps you should change your attack pattern before you die.
I mean, I'm already dead, ain't I, from taking that hit?
At the moment, we are in that fraction of a second before you die. You feel the flame hit you, you feel it starting to burn and melt your body.
I don't think I got anything left though to do.
And you will feel your sword humming in your hand.
Was this that sword that I found last time?
It is indeed the essence of the sword that you found last time. Because remember, you can coat any blade in that essence.
Okay. And that was on the long sword.
Yep, it is demanding to be released.
Okay. So jumping in, and in the fraction of taking that burn, I'm still able to wield this attack.
Yep.
Okay.
You'll just be changing your point, and you're going to have to roll a d20 to see if you... Well, you escape death, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
You will have an advantage from Sarvoth as he's trying to teach you something, not turn you into a fried chicken. We shall see.
Okay.
I thought you were about to spit roll that one on both. I saw 4 and 9, and I was like...
I know, right? That plus 9.
All right.
28.
28. Okay. Just so you guys know that I'm not bullshitting. Reflex saving throw for the Inferno attack, and as you can see, it is a DC 27. So that's a success.
Fucking skin that with
Barely. Yeah, barely.
And with that, you will not make it to the skull. You feel the fire hitting your body, and with all your strength, you pull and slam your weapon into the flame, trying your best to cut through this fire that is hurting you. Maybe the sword can suck in the flame and get rid of it so that you're not dealing with it anymore. And with that, the flame forces you back to the ground, and you land superhero style, one knee, your sword held off to your side, and you feel the heat still. Everything on your side is just burning. And as you prep to look for the next attack, as this creature is wondering how you survived, you pull your sword in front of you to ready, and you see the red flames echoing off of the void.
Rage just becomes blade on a... I just lift my other free hand and beckon it. Come on.
And as you begin to beckon and call it, you'll watch the flames increase and grow and build on the sword. And you feel it pulsating. All this energy demanding somewhere to get.
Mm-hmm. I just reverse grip it and kind of just swing it at the thing.
All right. Make another attack roll, and we will see if you hit.
Okay. That's only 27.
You did not hit. But it's more poetic that you didn't. So, 31's its AC.
Gotcha.
The flame careens off of the blade as you slash, and you hear the sound of just hissing and popping as a searing blade is going straight towards the creature. You watch it slam and explode on it. And the creature looks a little perturbed. Its own fire used as a weapon against it. Sarboth will raise a paw and motion it towards the ground as the being disappears. And then he looks at you and goes, "You won't fell your rage in one sole attack, but it's a start. New abilities and all that. The void is not only meant for taking. With your power, you might be able to enhance things and make them even stronger. Your allies lending their power to you, you lending it in kind. Just don't overuse it. You don't want to die."
Believe me, those flames wanted to take me down.
Oh,
Know it too well.
No, I don't have to believe it. I don't believe you're conscious right now. And with that, you to the ground. And with that, we will slow the music down. Back to the arcane. As Eelix and Razzik, Nyphix and Zephyr coming down from the hill, with Zephyr holding Karrith over his shoulder. He goes, "Whoa, look what I found! Just lying up there. Poor chap, I don't even think he was fighting anything."
Interesting.
And you'll see Nyphix, as you, Nyphix, you yourself, see this crackling lightning. I will get you cards to see your new abilities before next session, so no worries about that yet. But surely the party is reunited once more, and the clouds seal over on the top.
On a slightly different tact, this place is like pretty much as magical as a place can be, right?
Mm-hmm.
As we're moving through this area, I'm looking to collect wood, preferably narrow
Giggity.
wood.
Giggity.
Narrow wood?
Yeah, I intend to craft wands using this place's power.
Sounding rods?
No, wands.
Okay.
Why did you have to say it? That's so fucking loud.
I have no idea what you're talking
In duality, I think you kill Nate.
Google it later.
Oh shit. Ugh.
And with that, Eelix and Razzik, as you watch the spell tower where they were dispel, you will see powers from the ley lines eking out of those places of power where they just were. It explodes and bursts out before meeting at new locations farther away. The ley lines themselves offering power to these events, changing your friends in their own ways. What is with you? You begged me to come up here. Then you get up here and you slam your head against my own, and now you're screaming to go down. Do you love me and want to go with me, or do you want to go down and...
God, tonight is just very pornographic in here.
I think you're just horny.
Like every tag, every category just got said right there.
So, thank you, Duality. I now know what a sounding rod is.
Great. I'm glad you looked it up.
I was like, are we on a Mississippi boat? We need to do a sounding, and then no, that's not what it is at all.
That is not what it is.
It's not.
Yeah, well, I know now.
We know you know it.
And also, I don't normally kink shame people, but what the fuck?
Did you see the one where the chick was using a steak knife?
Oh no.
No.
I will send you that video.
No, please don't. I don't want to see it.
You know, somebody was on my ass yesterday about some contact.
Careful.
Oh, I mean, don't get me wrong. The thing doesn't bother me. I cannot wrap my head around a person who looks at that and then looks at their junk and goes, "Yeah, it'll fit. Let's go." Like, if you'd ask me like what things I would be absolutely not okay with, that's right at the fucking top. Like if that and kicks to the balls. Like, I'll pass on both of those things.
It's just a different way of getting sock puppeted from the front instead of the rear. But
Oh,
anyway, what were you
God.
saying, Spike?
Gross.
You know what? Not my monkeys, not my channel. It's fine. I mean, even if it was, I was not PG-13 on my channel. So, I mean, you know,
Well,
everything flies.
you convinced me to embrace fuck it here and there.
Well, I'm proud of myself then. But all right, and with that, our journey once more can continue. As Razzik, you find yourself picking up little sticks as we're going along, so that you can craft your wands later. We'll do a roll later to find out how many you've gathered and all that.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna ask. Okay, no problem.
But with that, we begin to move once more. And in short order, get the fuck back in your fire. In an attempt to get out. And following the same pathway,
What soup?
you end up at a pyramid with two snakes flanking it. This pyramid obelisk careens high into the sky but breaks right before the clouds. A familiar obelisk to you, Eelix.
Mm-hmm.
So this doesn't seem to be longing for your touch anymore. Though, it can always be tempted.
So it's no longer wanting me to touch it, giggity. But I could mess around with it still.
Correct.
Sure, you could rub it the right way.
I mean,
Zephyr
as long as it's consensual, right?
will proceed to wander towards and go, "Ah! I've read about these! Teleportation areas! We could use this to get to another area!"
I'm gonna look over
Since we
at
are-
him and be like, and just listen. Like, follow along and listen.
These conduits here will absorb power that we can then use to move to another location of our choice. We just need to use the proper element. Unfortunately, that means that I'm out, as my element is fire, and I won't be able to use the next plane. Does anybody have what were we looking for? Oh, right. Wind!
I'm gonna look at Karrith and go, Is he okay?
What is it?
Am I conscious?
I hope so.
If Nyphix
Talk to
healed
an
you,
unconscious
probably.
body.
I'm just gonna also say out loud, I'm surprised.
There's your
he can
sock
read.
puppet.
I'll be right back, okay?
Okay. Just picking my head up off the ground, grabbing the back of my head with the hair, just being like, "Are you good?" And I'm like,
Right. So used to talking to you now. I just
yeah, you just see me just face down in the ground.
What did you say, Eelix?
I'm gonna say, just under my breath, I'm surprised he reads.
I just imagine Nyphix looks over at Karrith, who's now been placed on the ground, and is like, "Do you know what he's talking about?" And then notices that Karrith's like, "Oh, right, cleric." It's been miles. It's just a trail of blood from where we were to here. Heals him up 16 miles.
60 miles.
I would walk 500 miles.
So Nyphix, did you heal up Karrith so that he's back up on his feet?
Yeah, do you want me to roll for it?
If you want to actually grant him some health that would be usable here, yes.
Okay.
You're currently at 0 hit points, Karrith.
Currently 6?
0.
0, yes. Oof. Better than negatives.
6, that's 8.
All right.
There we go, hold on. Why I don't roll? 7, 12. There you go.
Hey, Papa squat and get the bio priest from wherever. Well, then no.
It's 12.
All right. So Karrith heals back up 12 hit points.
Nice.
And he will look at Razzik and go, "You, loud wizard, do you have any spells that would produce the element that we are looking for?" Well, I think he's out.
I thought he was going to take a dump.
Just wait, Jen. Due to the virtue of my book, every spell I have does every type of damage if I choose it to do.
Ah, excellent. We should change it to some wind and get on with our mission.
Okay.
I will alert you guys, 'cause it's been like 2-3 sessions. You were. I shall wait. I hear. Okay, cool. You were advised to go to the plane of ice if you needed powerful ice magic, and you were granted a knife that if you carved into creatures here, it would take a hint of their essence and allow you to crack things with.
I'm just thinking of those ice sounding rods now. Have we been?
I just see a paramedic guy like knocking on your door, going,
Yeah.
"Don't meet me like this."
God, it could be like getting your tongue stuck to the freezer. But anyway, who's been carrying the knife and making said little carvings?
No one. No one's carved anything yet. We've been on a death march.
That's not good. Somebody should be carving stuff.
We've had nothing to steal essence from.
Karrith's almost dead.
He does make a point.
I'm kidding.
But also, anything that you come into contact here, they never specified you had to kill it. It just needed to be a creature.
Curiosity's gonna get to me, and I'm going to grab the knife and give my hand just a little bit of a carving. Not like a severe one, just like maybe a hit point or two's worth of damage.
I'm sorry, I missed the last like 10-30 seconds of what you were saying about knives and carving.
Yeah, kink shaming. I'm gonna carve myself up a little bit.
Okay.
Is it bad that Duality? I was kind of thinking the same thing.
So Duality, as Eelix takes the knife and kind of like carves it into his hand a bit, you see an essence begin leaking from your hand, but it is tame. Not enough that the knife is actually getting a hold of. You see this black ichor eking out with the blood. almost looks similar to the shadowed creatures that were in that ball.
Do I see him doing this?
Yeah, I don't think he's hiding it.
No, I'm not hiding it at all.
Okay, I'm gonna walk up, knowing that what happened upstairs with the being. I'm gonna just walk up to Eelix and hold out my palm and just say, "Here, try it with my hand."
I will flip the knife over and hand it over and be like, you can do your own hand.
That's fair. So I will.
All of you, bring it here.
Okay. As you drag the knife across your hand, you will see electricity begin coursing from your hand and getting pulled into the blade. And soon you'll see the blade gains that charge of electricity. And the parchment that keeps an itemized list of the charges and stuff that's stored in the blade will gain weak electricity charge.
Is this the blade that we got from the contest? The race thing?
Nope, this is the blade that you got from the Church of Shaylin, who said that in your endeavors to try and to get rid of the plants and get the worms off of the plants, it looks like ice is successful. And if you can carve up some ice monsters, you can carve into the ice monsters using that knife. You can then use that knife to create items that will help you in your endeavors.
Interesting. Can I see that knife now?
Nyphix will kind of flip it over and hand Razzik the handle end.
All right.
I essentially like call some fire up from my hand and like heat the blade up a bit just to like sterilize it because gross.
Okay.
And then like move it around a bit till it cools off, and then I'll carve the same into my own flesh.
Right or left hand?
Left.
As you carve the blade across your left hand, you will feel the tattoo on your hand begin to burn. And soon, ice is pulled up and into the blade. And on the parchment, you will see moderate ice charge.
Okay. I need to find me a few of these ice creatures. The more powerful, the better. Anyone else for self-mutilation?
I feel like I was self-mutilated enough.
Perhaps you just know there's something inside you and you don't want us to see. In which case, that's fine.
Don't start with me, Razzik. What's so
Had a
funny?
long day, friend.
Honestly, Razzik, what do you find so funny right now?
I enjoy the torment of others.
Yeah, but you better get that scheme out of your head one point.
Yeah, that's probably not gonna happen. At any rate, does anyone want to hold this, or do you just want me to hold on to this knife?
Nyphix will hold out her hand and just kind of say, "I think I'll hold on to it. You already have ice in your hand."
That is true. Pommel first into your hand.
She'll take it and kind of stick it in through her belt.
All right. And what will you guys? Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, well, shall we away?
We gotta find these potential issues and try to correct them. That's why we're here.
Of course.
Well, wind.
Yeah.
Or so Crimson claims. Strangely enough.
His claims are dubious at best, but
I'm just trying to help us along our path. We do.
yeah.
A direction is a direction.
At any rate, this gate is a teleportation thing. I assume there's an area we need to stand to activate this teleportation thing. So let us go there and stand on the area and teleport to wherever we're supposed to go next.
All right. I don't know if Eelix wants to reveal the information on how to use it. That's on him if he wants to keep the secrets.
No, I'll reveal the teleporter secrets.
All right. So with that, Eelix will tell you that the snakes need to be hit with an element, and then putting your hand upon the obelisk will teleport you.
If other people put their hands on the obelisk and then I hit it with the element and put my hand on, it teleports all of us?
Is that a yes?
Yeah.
You're not positive, but it seems pretty cool. It seems like it might work.
Well, if they get teleported as soon as I hit it both with wind, it's not a big deal. I could just do it again. So, all of you put your hands on the obelisk, and I'll wind it up.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna pokey poke.
All right.
Do I need to use a powerful effect, or will any level of wind effect do?
From Eelix's recollection, any wind will do. It just needs to be hit with wind.
Okay, so I'm going to use the book to turn a ray of frost into a ray of wind.
All right.
And strike both of the statues, and then place my hand on the pillar.
All right. With one ray of wind hitting one of the snakes, its eyes begin to glow and gain these almost white cloud-like tornadoes inside of it. And you hit the other one, and very much the same thing happens. And as you touch the obelisk, it glows. And soon, you find yourselves in the plane of wind, which I have to drag you all over there.
You're a dragon.
No, malware bites. I don't care.
Pink tree is pink.
Pink tree is pink. All right. With that, you find yourselves popped out and floating amongst this large, I wouldn't even call it a tree. There's no trunk to it. It just seems like sporadic vines that are covered in cherry blossoms. It extends high into the sky, and you see clouds as they pass by. Wind encompasses from all directions, and it feels like you're standing on the edge of a tornado at all consistent time, being threatened of being swept up. And once it notices the presence here, the winds slowly eke out and die down where you are, before you land in the tree, still listening to the whooshing of the wind around you. seeming to accept the new presence of the people who are here. Staring off and into the wilds, you will see even more habitats of creatures who have called this place home. Different types of elementals, of floating energy balls encompassed with winds with purple spheres around them. And strangely, a habitat that seems to have some golems at it. And they seem to be working in what appears to be a box of some sort. Not necessarily a shipping container, though roughly the same size. The container has markings on it, etchings from the Temple of Shaylin. And you will see that just outside of this little habitated box sits several creatures that belong to this plane of wind. It's a hop, skip, and a jump to get there, but the out of the box, pulling these crates from the box.
Interesting.
You said the crates were the ones that had the markings from the...
The container itself, the giant shipping container box, and the crates also have Shaylin. The mark of Shaylin is a songbird with a beautiful tail that wraps over its head.
Right.
Wait. So there's shipping containers through this realm?
Well, I would assume so. Flowers have to be shipped somehow.
You think this is where those flowers will be?
I mean...
Well, if there are some here, it stands to reason there might be more. I'm still continuing to keep detect magic up, looking for any trace of the eggs or active worms.
All right. You are currently too far from from those boxes. You do sense magic in that general vicinity from the boxes.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of it's going to be magical here, though.
Of
All
course.
the floor. Then we have no choice but to get closer.
I would concur.
Does it look like... So we're up in, like, vines, trees. Is it just easy traversal over the branches and stuff?
It is not easy traverse. It's very much a narrow, winding, twisting corridor the whole way down, but narratively, I'm just going to have you down and through it. There's not really much that's going to beat you up in these trees. More things are going to be trying to avoid you. You will see creatures inside this tree, including the tree itself. There are some creatures who are mimicking the cherry blossoms that are on these trees, and you'll watch as you get too close to some of them, reach out for vines, and the cherry blossoms will just instantly poof off of the tree, and then these cherry blossoms will turn into feathers as they begin spinning to get out of the location.
Very Avatar. Interesting fauna.
As we get closer, I do know that I would like to try to see just general if these particular creatures are going to... I mean, obviously, majority of these creatures so far have not been aggressive, but on whether or not these ones are going to be a problem or not.
So go ahead and give me a survival.
That is a 15.
So, from what you've known being down here thus far, the vast number of creatures that you run into, tried to give a wide berth to. You haven't tried to get involved with anything per se. To get closer to these creatures, to get closer to the flowers, you're going to end up having to get one-on-one with these wind creatures. And odds are getting too close to them might provoke them. For the moment, they seem docile. That's because of distance around. And the golems that are moving things from the shipping container out to the habitat almost seem mindless in a way. As if they have a directive, they need to follow it, they need to get it done, and then they can move to the next task. They're very task-oriented.
As we're getting closer, am I noticing anything else with detect magic?
Several of the creatures that you're passing, though they seem to get intimidated by the presence, seem to really not want much to do with you, but you can tell strong sources of magic that come off of them. What's more, you also see some of the wind ley lines that are in fact, this entire tree that you're currently walking along is absorbing one of the ley lines. It's wrapped itself around it and is trying to twist and contort in as many ways possible, almost using the ley line like its own virtual sun.
Am I just seeing where that part is, where that's happening, or am I within reach of it?
Yeah, you're in reach of it as well. Anywhere where the tree is currently vined up is within a ley line itself.
I'm going to reach out my left hand and try to touch the tree that's touching the ley line.
You grab a hold of the vine in the tree, and you feel the whole thing undulate underneath of you. Almost akin to if you touched an octopus. You can feel the muscles moving within the tree. More creature than it is plant.
I don't know what this would be, what you would roll for this. But, like, humans have some sort of an innate sense to determine what kind of emotions are generating the touch that they're receiving from something else.
Where's that in the rule book?
Huh?
Where's that in the rule book?
I'm not saying it's in the rule book. I'm saying people can do it. So
that's why everybody screams when I touch them when they're walking in the bathroom.
No. That seems outside of what I'm trying to accomplish. Essentially, I'm trying to convey a sense of wonder and a desire to learn. Would you poke at me? Into this, like, touch that as I'm touching the tree, like, just in a non-threatening way. You know what I mean?
As I would say, roll a sense motive.
Okay. Yeah, garbage roll. 12.
The tree just seems to be breathing, thriving, and trying to survive. It wants to grow as big as possible, as fast as possible. The only reason why you can see it latching onto the ley lines. And taking a look at it, its leaves seem to be generating some sort of a power off of the vine. And that's what your detect magic. Almost as if the ley line offers more magic to the tree. You do, after noticing it, sense an aura from the tree itself. Almost as if it projects its own force field. But not something that is impassable, as you guys are clearly walking on it, but more or less like an auric barrier that sits hovering just above the flesh level of the tree.
Does it seem like there's an intelligence controlling this the tree? These feelings that I'm getting from it? Does it seem driven by some sort of intelligence or only by instinct?
Hard to say. At the moment, no threat, no real emotions other than lie in this hammock and relax. However, lie in this hammock and relax could just simply hanging out on ley lines growing.
True. That's true.
At the moment, this seems to be a standard day. Things are crawling around inside of it. Whatever, man. No big deal.
I'm gonna look over at Eelix and ask him if there is any possible way that we could create a distraction for the golems over there that are passing these crates off, and because those particular flowers, obviously, whether they're infected or not, need to be destroyed. And just thinking that if we can maybe just distract them while we destroy the flowers they've already passed out would probably be best.
I think up to Arby, I'm like, what do you got?
I'm
What
still
spell?
looking for a converging ley line.
I can't remember. Does Arby have any like direct damage spells, like magic missile or anything?
I believe I have his stuff up in chat.
Yeah, let me. I'm having a hard time finding it on my phone.
Tactics, Blessings of the Worm, Riftborn. Here it is.
What's it under?
It's Riftborn, with the R and the B capitalized, right
that
between Starbuck and the Blessing of the Worms.
Yeah, is that on the general chat?
No, click Tree of Ravens, the tab itself, and it's a thread inside of that.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, Riftborn up there. Yes, actually, minor image. Or acid splash would work well with this traded distraction, depending on the distance. Because I don't want to actually, like, I wouldn't want to hit the golems. Just cause, like, something to happen near them.
That's just something that will allow me to use the knife. Because, it has the ice now, right? That's what they said at the church.
Okay.
You haven't
The priest said.
crafted it yet.
Do what?
You haven't crafted anything with it yet. Do you intend? Do you want to craft something?
Good enough to do it with no issue. Alright, sorry, I'm back.
What could I craft in all reality?
Well, right now you have an essence of, an essence of ice and an essence of lightning. But there's not really a binder. You are, however, standing on a tree.
Let's say we're kind of surrounded by binders. If you think about it, we're standing in a tree.
No.
Like, I could do a acid splash and cause, like, a tree branch to fall. Draw their attention.
True.
Would that work for you? Would that be kind of like what you're looking for?
Well, yeah, are these crates in a cart?
The crates are being pulled out of a container and are being placed on the ground. It looks like the golems are going to just walk the crates over where they're supposed to go, open the crates, and begin distributing the plants.
You could drop a branch from where they're coming from.
Let's go ahead and do that.
Okay.
I think to create something, does it look like there's any? I don't want to rip anything really, because just with the way that this whole world has been, I don't want to go like breaking branches and shit. Even though.
All right. Okay. What about I could do a minor image of like a squirrel, and just have it kind of try and distract them, but I doubt that would work, to be honest. It'd have to be something that would make them want to chase it or at least shoo it away.
Are there any debris? Is there any debris laying about? Anything that's broken off?
Weirdly, no. There's no debris from this tree.
So it's very much alive.
So smacking the tree might be a bad idea, is what you're saying.
That's at least how I'm feeling.
Well, consider this. You're standing on it. If it were to suddenly shift out from under your feet, what do you think would happen to you?
Yeah.
They would move out of the way of the ley lines, and then I can go into them.
Karrith is kind of in this weird offset. What if these golems don't even mean any harm? What if they're just workers? Just doing their job.
That too. Like, I don't want to injure them.
Maybe they should be aware of the notice of what's going on and why we're here.
You want to talk to them?
I mean, if possible. I don't think attacking everything is the way these things need to be going.
I agree with Karrith. We know very little about this place and even less about the creatures that inhabit it. To just start attacking things willy-nilly here would be both disrespectful to the beauty of this place and potentially life-threatening, given we know nothing about what these things can do. And some of them, as I can clearly see, have quite a bit of magic in them. So, I would not like to be on the receiving end of, I don't know, a hurricane or a tornado, or just really strong gusts of winds that blast you off your branches and drops you into a never-ending abyss, potentially. I don't know what is the possibilities here. What I do know is that attacking this tree is a good way to find out.
That's why I suggested a distraction of the golems.
If you distract a person and then stab him, the person still knows they've been stabbed.
Well, not in that case, but I'm just saying I don't think we can much distract with the whole aciding the branch of a tree and doing it, because I feel like there's some kind of life that's existing in this, and I just would rather not disrupt it. If there's no debris or old fallaways, like there's something thriving here. And
I would agree with that as well.
But we definitely, the more we debate, the more we can't help them figure out how to get rid of these potential problems in the flora. So the priority should be about finding that type of flora, whether we have to distract these golems or speak to them in any way.
I found that golems aren't usually the most conversational beings in the world, though.
Yes, but they are a part of something. So if they are a part of some kind of ecosystem that's happening with the tree, there has to be some way we can interact with them, whether it is to cause them to either lock up or cause them to have this like no flow to this magic that's involved here. I just feel like we have to be careful. We're not of our domain.
Oh shit, he walked off. I was gonna say, how many were there again? This is what, two or four? Something like that.
Well, regardless, a golem's going to be difficult to fight if it does start to fight against us. So the best course of action would be to either pull them away from their work in some way, and I understand distraction, but I feel like the best thing I could do is at least lead them to me, and if they don't get conversational, then we move on. Maybe a plan B.
I think attempted communication is highly more advised than attempted violence. And we've been shown no aggression at this point, which leads me to believe that reason may hold sway here.
All right, well, let's go with that then. Let's go with reason.
Let me check something.
Sorry, I was trying to catch my wife before she went to sleep because she wanted me to put by. Because she's injured.
Okay.
And I wanted to wash my hands before I came back here because if I don't, I'm going to go to scratch my dick. And there'll be issues.
Right.
As long as it wasn't with Icy Hat.
How many were there again?
From what you've seen going in and out of the crates, there's probably like 7.
7 golems?
Mm-hmm.
There seem to be anything hanging around them, directing them?
No, they seem very self-directed. However, they're not communicating in any way. There's no glowing crystals forcing them to do what they're doing. There's no standing near each other and having any type of dialogue or even flashing eyes. It seems as though they are very single-minded in their purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I... Just because they look like they're... At this point, like you said, single-minded in their purpose, and Karrith has suggested speaking to them. And they, with them still discussing it, can Nyphix just walk up to where they're kind of like going back and forth, grabbing a crate and setting it down and passing it to the wildlife, etc.? Can she just kind of like walk up like she's going to go grab a crate? Like she's retrieving it, like she lives in the trees there, just like she's going to go grab a crate?
Sure.
Like nonchalantly, just grab a crate.
You meander up to the crates, and as you start getting within distance of them, one of the golems will take note of you coming closer and will walk in front of you and attempt to stop you in your tracks. The golem easily towers 3 feet taller than you and just kind of looks down. His squat, almost, he doesn't have a neck. It's just all straight geometry from top of head to shoulders. I don't really have a good way how to say it.
Like Bubble Buddy?
I don't know what he is. Like a Reggie Rock. But he proceeds to just kind of tower and then look down at you, and you just hear... as if he's trying to discern your purpose and at the same time shoo you away. And as he does, another one will come over, and now these 2 are hanging out near you. And then you'll watch as the one leans down, puts its hands by you, and starts pushing you backwards. Not even in like a motion, just like get out of here. Get out of here. What are you doing?
Like shoo, cat, shoo.
You're not supposed to be here. This area is employees only.
So,
I don't think you're supposed to be here, dude.
Nyphix will kind of like, she'll shimmy back a bit, but then do like a side step and point to the crate as she walks towards it. Not say anything, just nonchalantly just point to the crate. Like, that's what I want.
And as you begin to wander over to the crate, you'll watch as the golem looks towards the crate, looks back towards you, and then meanders over to you, reaches down, and goes to pick you up. Do you allow this listening to happen?
No. I'll probably I'll probably flap my wings and kind of lift into the air a little bit, kind of get above him.
You'll watch as he originally goes to your waist, and as you flap and go above him, he just, in tandem, starts leaning upwards, still trying to grab your waist as you're flying above. Now just staring there, trying to figure out how to get your waist. You are above him. He's below you. And then you'll watch him come down, and he starts looking around in the ground. And soon enough, that second one that was trying to get you away will lean down and pick up a rock.
I will don't stand there. You'll probably be smashed by a big fucking rock.
The moment it clicked in my head, the moment it clicked, cracked me up.
You're not supposed to be here.
Alright. Is there a way I can start moving up on this action so I can further distract them away from what they're about to do?
Well, I have them distracted, motherfucker. What are you doing?
Okay. I won't then.
There's 7 of them. You have 2 distracted, for the record.
Well,
True.
the 2 that matter right there by the crate. Somebody else can go grab a crate.
I will say, the third one has now stopped what it's doing and is watching the show as We Will Rock You is about to hit Nyphix. Karrith will approach the scene and begins getting involved. Eelix, Razzik, and Zephyr standing back.
Can I, as the one picks up the rock, how fast would you say this golem actually manages to like lift the rock in the air? 'Cause
They lift it with relative ease. They don't seem too pressed to get over to you. They're moving kind of lazily, but they're not like dragging their feet about it either. They're
right.
walking.
So it's not like as the one picks up the rock in the air, it's not like fast lightning speed, like shit, I'm gonna throw this as quick as I can. It lazily picks it up like,
Yeah, like, I can't believe I have to do it.
cool. Okay.
Good signs.
Which way did he go,
So-
George? Which way did he go?
As that one picks up the rock, can I actually fly over to that one and stand on the rock that he has held in the air?
As you stand on the rock, he takes a couple seconds to compute what's going on, and then you watch him very slowly start wandering away from the crates with you on the rock.
The equivalent of trying to take a wasp out of a warehouse. Easy, just stay where you are.
And once he has gotten you back to like the tree line, he places the rock down and starts to head back.
I mean, he may not be able to speak, but that's clear communication. Also, I'm not gonna get involved in whatever nonsense you're about to do. So
How does a D&D adventuring party handle fucking cashiers at a 7-Eleven? we're just here for the cigarettes, man.
Well, as he sets me down and turns me around, this is at this point now. I'm just acting as a distraction now that I realize that they're just trying to keep us away from said crates. So now it's fuck it. I asked for a distraction. Distraction it is. Except we're not harming the tree, so I'm going to fly towards the other few that were kind of back away from the crates themselves, and try and get majority of their attention at the same time as the other two, kind of a bob and weave flying figure 8 in between them.
Serpentine.
You'll see that there are 2 of them that are holding the crates, and 2 that have now put down their crates and are moving back to the shipping container. The 2 that are moving back to the shipping container now look up at you, see what you're doing. The 2 that are just now watching you, trying to figure out what's going on. The 3 that were entertaining you before are now coming back to the party. The one carrying his rock again. And you will watch as the 2 who are holding the shipping containers will turn away from you and avert, and are now trying to move away from you in general, as in more of a game of keep away. Like, oh, you think you can't get the merchandise. Soon, the one that had the rock is back underneath you and is now prostrating the rock underneath you as you're moving around, trying to convince you to land on the rock, so he can escort you back out of this the work site. Unfortunately, to his chagrin, you are just still flying around and not giving him the time of day. But there are
a knowledge planes check to see if I can find, if I know of some sort of being that I could potentially communicate here, some type of species that's intelligent that I would potentially be able to see or find.
Sure.
Did they leave any crates behind?
I got a dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
I love me a dirty 20.
Nasty, filthy. Hates his daddy 20.
Yeah.
But there are some crates that have been abandoned because they've gotten to the proper positions at this point in time, and now they're getting ready to be unpacked. The problem is there's still more crates in the shipping container. They want to get everything before they unpack them. So there are crates that are currently undefended. With your dirty 20, Razzik, you begin trying to figure out some semblance of a natural order, a balance, a thing in here that you could use to your advantage. And it doesn't take very long before you sit there and think, everything's living in the tree. The tree, in its own way, is the natural balance to this area. So if something could help you out, maybe the tree, weirdly?
I go back to the point that I touched before. And when I touch it again, I'm trying to, like, force a message of, like, I don't know, a request for interaction at a verbal level that I can understand with the entity that controls this area.
All right. And what is the message that you're trying to send?
We are strangers to this place and could use a guide.
All right, so that's the length of the message?
Yeah, something simple, you know? I don't know if how like cognizant this tree is, so like I don't want to overcomplicate it with a bunch of words.
Roll an animal handling check.
I fucking have animal handling. Probably. Yeah, sure don't. A raw 20. Here we go.
A raw, dirty
Oh,
20.
natural 20.
A raw,
What the fuck?
natural 20.
Yeah.
God, he is raw
That's an
dogging you.
unmodified natural 20.
We're about to see the fucking manager. You understand this, right?
Wear
Call me
protection.
Karen.
You feel that something has gotten your message and is now listening, trying to figure out what direction you're looking for. What is it you're truly asking for? Meanwhile, the golem that has been chasing Nyphix around with the rock has now gotten a bit incensed that she won't get onto the rock and pitches the rock at her.
Oh, shit.
Go ahead and make a reflex saving throw, Nyphix.
Yeah. Make it or squash.
Come on. Fucking matters. The fucking 8.
And that's an 18.
What the hell? All night, anytime, any of the other fucking rolls, it was like, yeah, whatever. Like, yeah, okay, here's a halfway decent roll. Chuck a fucking boulder at your face, bitch. Here's a 6.
You watch as the golem is getting a bead, has realized your flying pattern, and you just feel the rock wail into your head goes into your neck, everything goes dark for a second, and you out of the sky. And then one of the golems comes over, picks you up by the waist, shakes you a bit, walks you to the edge, puts you by the tree, pats you on the head, and then heads back to the work area.
Oh my god, I thought it was gonna just toss her off the side of the tree, just
Take the trash out.
You take 18 concussive damage from boulder to head.
Christ.
That'll do it.
Hold up.
She's leaning against a tree. I bit my tongue.
I have 1 health.
Jesus.
I had 19 left over.
Jesus. The most nonchalant, life-threatening rock. God. Are they really that precise? They just saw a rabbit rolling away and they just threw a rock right at it. Just knocked that shit out.
I mean,
I said employees only.
I did try to say not to do that.
You wanted to talk. You guys wanted to talk. That's like it's gonna hear. You guys go to collect Nyphix.
Well, you're now making me obviously realize that this is now time for Plan B.
Okay. So she sees
Jesus.
Karrith. She's gonna look at Karrith and go, "You fucking wanted to talk."
I
Talking.
turn and look at Karrith and I'm like, no, this isn't time for. Did you not just see what happened? That thing picked that rock up like it was a pebble and smashed her nearly to death. And then very quaintly set her down and said, "Good girl, stay." All right? That was every bit of intelligence that thing could muster to tell you in every way it can that it doesn't want to hurt you, but it fucking will. Leave it alone. Just leave it alone. The attack you were using entirely, both of you, all of you, is completely wrong.
I'm gonna say through the most gritted teeth and say, then you do something, Razzik.
Am! Sit down, children. Be quiet.
Something tells me Razzik's not making it to the next chapter. What'd you say, Duality?
Said somebody put their big boy pants on today.
Well,
It's like, give me a goddamn minute!
yeah, that would be lovely. And then, annoyed, clearly, I turn back to the tree, take a deep breath, place my hand back on it, and instead of words, this time I'm going to try to project images. First, an image of like what I'm seeing with detect magic in an infested person, and then an image of the magical plants we gathered, and then a potential for there to be an egg of that thing on the plant, and then terrible, terrible danger, and then a desire to help.
Alright. I need a ride check from Razzik and Eelix.
I'm riding somebody.
They have decent decks.
Something, more or less.
Hope you like tentacles.
I don't
I got
ride very well. It's not as bad as it could have been.
Ooh.
It's still pretty bad because my ride is a 7 on that check.
I got a 16.
All right. And in which case, one last chance to catch yourself, Eelix. Roll me an acrobatics check.
Acrobatics.
Boy.
That is a much better roll. That is a 16 with a 4, so that's a dirty 20, a dirty, filthy 20.
All right.
Took my money on the way out the door and didn't even leave the number or card.
So with that, you project these images out, Razzik, looking for something to latch onto it, to understand what is going on, what is the plight.
Okay.
There's a pregnant pause. And then suddenly, the vine that you're standing on shifts and moves. You feel it tremble beneath your feet as you grab a hold of the vine and slam onto the tree. And then you watch Eelix titter off of the tree and fall into another part of the tree before he catches on and grabs another part that's coming by. The tree itself begins to move, goes past as it basically tendrils past Eelix, past Karrith and Nyphix on the ground, and begin wrapping up the golems as it's lifting them up off the ground. And you're watching the golems take a look at the tree as it's grabbing a hold of them, and they just start petting the tree in an attempt to calm it. But soon, all 7 golems are in the air. And then the tree goes back to standing still, hardening around its new captured prey. The crate's fully exposed.
I'm gonna get over to Nyphix and check on her status.
Yeah, you're gonna see me spit out a tooth and hold it in my palm and go, yeah, fuck talking. The tree can handle it.
Alright. Well, I lend a hand out to you. Let's get you back up on your feet.
I convey a thank you or my gratitude. And then I remove my hand and turn back to the group and I said, there. Jesus.
All right. And you guys spend a bit of time with Razzik's ice magic, destroying the plants that had just came in, making sure to exterminate every last bit of egg that is on them.
Yay!
And with the mission now complete, you stand in the plane of wind, awaiting to get out, maybe hang out for a bit longer. Who knows? Only the next session will tell. It's at that juncture where we will end it for today.
Money.
Oh, wow.
Really good.
Mm-hmm.
And today only costs us one concussion.
Yeah.
I think I need a concussion meter at this point because, like just a check mark. We'll just add it to the, Eelix's stream there. How many times has Nyphix rolled below a 10?
It's like the
Fucking a ticker.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the Krillin owned counter.
Yeah, I'm starting to realize whenever we make plans, though, Eelix doesn't get hit, but if Eelix makes a plan, he gets hit.